Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show with SmartRobie. And I do hope that many of you, especially myself, which is celebrating the Chinese New Year, will probably have a very interesting night last night, which was the 8th day of the Chinese New Year, which is primarily celebrated by the Hokkien. But I'm not Hokkien, but I do visited some relative, and there was a big bang last night which lasted in here. A big shout to Mohammad Riza. A very good morning for those of you who are listening now in here. Thank you for coming, and definitely we do have a great show for you with SmartRobie. And if you have not gotten a copy of SmartRobie, make sure you download a copy of it in the Google apps in here. So let's take a look at what we have for you this morning in our breakfast show in here. And of course, many of you know the last time where we had the breakfast show with SmartRobie was on the 16th of January, which is 2 weeks ago, which is episode 201. This is episode 202, and we have gone a long way. And for those of you who have just discovered us, thank you again for your support. And of course, don't forget to join our breakfast show, which is the and also our Telegram every week, that we will be broadcasting new content and new information that will help you to become an investor and much. Of course, many people may not just aware of this. The market is ready to have something very big in here. I'm just going to show you from a chart as I'm scrolling up here, so you can see right now here is the market that you see here, and definitely what we are looking at. Let me just scroll to a bigger chart, and you will probably notice this market is ready to break higher. You notice the railway track is also going up in here, and also one of the features that you may explain is you can rotate this, and you can see much better through the chart here. But I'll just probably rotate it back. The ability to rotate. We are be releasing the new feature of SmartRobie probably this coming week, so check it out too in here. But right now you could see as of 10:15, the market in a way you can say that we are really rallying up rather than breaking down, and that's possibly because the entire regions are moving up nicely in here. So we can see this chart that we have. So what do we have this morning is definitely last Friday we released some of the new features. And remember, Trade VSA are a software analytic company, although we do education, but much of our focus has been to improve our analytics, so that user like yourself were able to access this information, at least giving you an edge over other traders and investors that you can make decision for that. So the VSA 360 new features has this new what we call insider buying and selling, and these information are from the Bursa Malaysia, which is part of the Disclosure Requirement Company Act 2016. So we use this information to depict where they are buying and selling. So check out the video that we have on the YouTube and also on live FB, which we did last Friday in here. And also this morning's sharing, and we believe the continuation. So you can see from the chart above, the post-Chinese New Year rally continue, but we are very close to the top. Generally, if you look at the seasonality, the market should eventually break downwards, which means it will turn red Pentagon. So keep in mind, those of you who's trading, but the good news is, should it continue, this will be something that we have not seen before, because generally the KLCI market stays uptrend for about 1 month, which is about 20 or 21 days, which is we are already there, which I'll talk about later. But guess what? The China stock market is getting ahead by looking at the Hang Seng and also the Dow Jones just turned green Pentagon last Friday. So you see, if Dow Jones and also what we call about the golden cross. The golden cross is where the lower shorter term moving average cross above the higher moving average. That is also a denote of a likelihood of an uptrend. So because of that, that's why we are now pushing into the ST2 intraday alert, which you actually get this also. You can see the intraday alert on my screen on the left hand side right at this button here. This is the ST2 intraday, that's the one, okay? And you could see this definitely will give you an edge, especially for those of you who are generally the advanced type of trader for that one. Okay, but for the beginner, stick to the FA list that will give you some sort of dividend coverage. No doubt the market will still undergo market volatility as we speak of in here, and of course those of you looking for great dividend, we will review some of the stocks that we had last week too. But of course, the SmartRobie is powered by our Pentagon Guider, which allows you to able to follow the smart money, which is created by Tom Williams in here, going back way back in the 1970s, where he was a smart money user in here. All right, and this is the chart that we talk about, the continuation of uptrend for the Hang Seng market. You could see it broke up on mid-January, and the uptrend, where we also see the railway track is still moving uptrend in here. Nice one. And right now, the media, especially, you can see the talking head on Bloomberg, CNBC, and Reuters are getting very bullish, because guess what? Those bear tooth slayer, you know, those who doomslayer, sorry, the bear analysts are probably going to be keeping quiet. Of course, they will be also saying, look, this bull market you see is a temporarily what we call rebound, but it seems that the US Fed may just slow down that pulse of the hike rate. Should this coming in 2 weeks time, we will have the CPI figure for the January, that the inflation has already probably heightened or hit the high around the 9.1% again from the US perspective last June, and we're already 6 months down the road, so inflations are definitely coming down in here. But this chart does prove that the continuation uptrend of Hang Seng, and that's why the KLSE are likely to move higher in here. Okay. Now, this is a KLSE, as you can see in here, probably will have some sort of resemblance, just like the Hang Seng that you see. And of course, you can get it also on the VSA 360. But one way you can look at it is you can go over to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange here, and just click here and click on that one, and you can see that chart, okay, up here, and pretty much what we see earlier on. So you can see from here, this chart is really to move higher up. You can see, right, the same chart early on. So these are all the respective chart that you have, and right now this stock is definitely ready to move higher and so forth. Okay, and of course you can also check out the S&P 500, same kind of move, S&P 500 in here, making it very easy to use. All right, and just scroll back up, you can see the green pentagon. Let's hit this one here. You can see the green pentagon, that market is really turning upwards, and I kind of like how this market is actually moving up. Okay, that's around the 4,000 mark in here. And what do you think, readers? Do you think this market has any chance to move a bit higher in here? Right, do let us know, and will be interesting. You could see this is definitely one of the new version of our SmartRobie that you'll be getting it, and that will be coming up soon. All right, if you have not, we will be releasing this new version coming up very, very soon in here. Just bear with me. I'm just sort of showcasing to the audience right now in here. All right, but the downside of it is the foreign funds are currently selling now. That's right, selling, and the railway track, but it's still uptrend, right? Many times it retests. On a side note, I'll be doing SIDC CPE approved 10 CPE points on the 14th of March. That's right. So you can register for this one. It will be done online on Zoom. But those of you who need that 10 CPE point, especially for those of you who are in the profession registered with the CMSR, then you can do this as I'm part of the a trainer which is approved by the Securities Commission under SIDC in here. So check it out in here, combining volume spread analysis for fundamental analysis for effective trading the market, right? So we'll be doing both fundamentals with VSA to give you the kind of edge in here. All right. And let's look at the market stages. Right now you can see on the KLSE futures, which we do compare. The previous chart was the cash market, which is the composite index. This is a future chart index. You will notice two things right on top here is I hope you can see this in the last high after the signing in of Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim on the 19th, I believe, yes, 19th of December or the early December. The market hit 1570.5. Then it hit 1509. That was the last 3-day market rally, and right now it is testing. You can see here, right, 1500. The sooner it get above that 200-day moving average, you can see this red line, that will be a more definite. Right now you can see the lower low was at 1453. The last time it was quite fair off, so that's pretty good. So, and again, the green pentagon, which turned right on the 28th or 29th of December, has been 20 bars already, which means about 20 trading days, almost a 1 month. Previous high was 21 bars. It may likely to exceed this number of days, which is uptrend. You can see a lot of the time this market in here, and then there's quickly a sell-off, but we are not experiencing that. The last time we had a nice 2 to 3 months of this blue trend zone. The green pentagon was way back in I believe 2020. So we might see a market run right now after this post Chinese New Year 2023. Now, how many of you think that this CI market or this bull market will continue to run from right here onwards? Usually it always how do I say, people always underestimate how much the market can do in here, because being an average investor, many of those people who don't follow the market tend to do things that we do not do, and that's why sometimes it's always good to be always looking, observing the market using SmartRobie apps, or download some of the Bursa apps that you can have, and also use the VSA 360 for those of you who are more advanced in here. Definitely the blue trend zone is likely to continue beyond the 20 bars, which is today. And if it does, that will be definitely great, because right now we are on the second last trading day, which is the 31st of January in here, and the peak value is still pointing upwards. You can see from here. So at one point, we are still looking this one catalyst, and I'm not too sure what kind of catalyst that is likely to push up this market in here, but if it does happen, that it's something going to be very, very great, something I want to see breaking above to the 1520. Overall, the previous high, should it move up, will be 1612. All right, 1612. That is the level, is the kind of thing that I'm looking for in here. All right, there was a look here, could not find Hexcare 7803. We'll definitely check it out in here. Has changed from rubber racks. Okay, we will look into that in here. Thank you for highlighting that. Okay, next is the hot sector. Now, what is the hot sector today? Let's go to the KLCI in here. It's loading up hot sector, and you can see right now hot sector is energy, logistic, and REITs. Okay, REITs, hot sector. So we are, and also industrial in here. Now the whole mindset about the hot sector is the looking for the next up and coming stocks, and many of you who've been following the SmartRobie apps in here probably know the hot sector is one way to know which sector is hot, because when you see sector generally is hot, there are some what we call the front runner, like people who run in marathon, they will be the first to run, but you have also the second legger and the third legger, and that's pretty much what we are looking at. Of course, right now on the left hand side of the screen you will see energy is the hot sector, but we want to look at something on the second and third item, which is the transport and logistic, as well as technology, right? And if you remember, on the 16th of January, I talk about those sectors that is on the third item, technology, because eventually they will become stronger. As I said before, giving you the overview what's happening on the US, many of those local stocks following the big brother, which is the US stocks. If the US technology move, some of this little brother will also move the technology in here, which is actually in item number 3. But once it gets updated, becomes stronger, the overall sector, it moves to number 1. You already know some of those stocks, isn't it? And that's the whole point here. So in here, and let's take a look at what we have and catch them before they really move up. Now, this is a review of the third item on the 16th of January. We have Vitrox, we have Great Tech, we have UWC 069, and they are sorted. Just keep in mind they are sorted in the Pentagon date on the highest. So the highest will be on top in here as well. They go all the way down and down. So we can just check out Vitrox right now. It turned green Pentagon on the 13th of January. Let's see whether has it moved up a bit more, and looking from the stock chart here. And you can see 13, it's up 2.5% when it first moved up in here. And you could see, 2.5% because of the big line change that we have right here. This was that big line change that we seen moving up, and that seems to be something very promising. Okay, let's look at Great Tech, the next stocks. Okay, and Great Tech. And of course, those of you who have any stocks that you want me to review, I'll be happy to look into that. And that's going to be happening at the end of this segment in here. Great Tech is down 1% from yesterday. And you could see this market still moving up. No, it hasn't really made the big move that we want to in here, but the trend looking pretty good. Of course, many of you will also be looking at Inari, which is the big heavyweight in here. Clicking on Inari, looking at stock chart and stock comment. And right now you can see also Inari did go up, but we did have that big sell-off in here. And for those of you who have followed me last Friday when I talk about the insider buying and selling, you could see a lot of analysts did came out and in support that big drop that you see here from this chart. Let me just zoom it up here. You can see this big bar that they dropped. Immediately a lot of analysts, and this is only available in VSA 360, that they are looking into sort of pacifying the situation. Look, hey, maybe this big drop wasn't that bad. It wasn't affected. There was 5 analysts, investment analysts came out and called it, and such that the market since back has recovered. Although it was a nice path of going up. You can also check out UWC. Okay, and if you have time, you can also look at the other 2 sectors, which is the energy, and you can really zoom in and check out those chart that we see here. So you can see from here, right, you can see UWC eventually did turn red Pentagon. So for those of you who are shorter terms, this is the stocks you need to be very careful, because we shouldn't see any breakdown from here onwards. Okay, just keep that in mind. So that's UWC, so eventually turning red Pentagon in here. I think Vin Invest has moved up to Vin Invest. Okay, Vin Invest, looking at stock chart, stock comment here. And charts will be updated. Yep, that one has since moved up a bit here from that situation that we have. Okay, so keep in mind, check out some of the other stocks. So we'll be looking for today. All right, today we'll be looking at logistic Hectech. Okay, so some of those stocks, and all you got to do is just go back to hot sectors. Click on hot sectors in here, right, and you can look at the transportation, which is updated from the 27th of January. So you can see some of those stocks, some of them are still red Pentagon. You can see red Pentagon in here, Bintulu, right? We got Harbor, we got 26th of January. That's a new one. Okay, let's look at Hectech. Hectech is one of the big large cap, it's about 330, and this one has really moved. This is because of the Andy Ong counter in here, has a lot of support. And so you can see from this chart, in here, just move up, right? It been up significantly, from $5 gone up in here. I'll be very careful with this one here, right? Generally, it's not a stock for the beginner. Beginners stick to the Robie FA stock, which we'll get onto it shortly. What do we have in here? Let me just go down to this list and find some stocks. Okay, Lita just turned on the 27th. Okay, the other one is Shincorp. Okay, stock chart, stock comment here. And you can see from this one here, this one is like, wow, look at the chart. Turn up, turn down, turn up, turn down. This is really moving. So since then, right now, it has turned up in here. Probably it will break up at one point, sometimes in here. But the question is, if you do hold it, what kind of dividend are you be looking at? Of course, many of you are relying a lot on those news of some big smart money or whatever the case is. This is where you can use the VSA 360 to find out any of those insider buying is already been occurring by either the directors or the management or the business owner in this case in here, which is part of the disclosure requirement of the Company Act 2016 that will available in here. Okay, so that's where we are looking at. But since then, since 26th of in here, it's pretty much unchanged. All right, so this is where you got to do a bit of hunting. And of course, if you don't want to do that, you can always go on to the Robie FA list, which is the next target segment. Now, last 2 weeks ago on the 16th of January, we found out that there were two stocks, Takaful and KGB, and these are pretty general, good FA stocks. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our, newsletter in here. And I'm guessing why I'm not logging in here, so I'll probably have to retry and connect to my phone. Right, then you're able to see this. Okay, I'm back here again. All right, so this is really connection into the phone. So subscribe to our daily newsletter and you get a lot of this Robie FA stock list that will help you to plan, especially if you're a beginner. Now, on the 16th of January, we pick up Takaful. At that time, episode 201 today. This week is 202. Market stages indicator were above zero in here. You can see this is a very nice Takaful uptrend. Let's take a look at Takaful. What kind of dividend? This is S&P 500. Let's switch back to KLSE. Okay, Takaful. Okay, I'm going to go down to the fundamentals. Sometimes it takes a bit of, it's coming up, stock fundamentals. Okay, and you can see it's 6 out of 8, a pretty decent one, pays about 3.8% dividend. Lowly, it's very lowly rated. Actually, it's rated at about 7 times. So if you all know those fundamental stocks, generally if they are low PE stocks, they tend to have some sort of a very good base support, and this stock can really move higher in here. And since then, the market hit high of 355 while paying a nice decent 3.8 dividend. So if you are one of those so-called beginner stocks, this is definitely one stock. And last week we also talked about KGB. Let's take a look at KGB too, and KGB stocks. So looking at stock fundamentals in here, they do pay a little bit of dividend and they have some exposure to the semiconductor industry in here. So you can see just pay 0.99 dividend, so just 1% in here, and close to 1 billion in mid-cap stocks. Rated 4 out of 8. The P is 20 times with a very decent ROE of 21%. And when Robie spotted it, again, just the green pentagon on the early mid-January, 153. It's since then gone up a bit at hitting 160. And do take note, the green pentagon has also turned upwards. You can see it did hit this side here, the support at the 40-day moving average, but since then it's really moved up in here. So that tells you again in the overall perspective, looking at the Hang Seng, looking at the China market, looking at the US market, we Malaysia will tend to follow the big brothers one. All right, so that's why we have this 4 exchange on top in here for you to get a better perspective of that. Just don't be what we call kata di bawah tempurung. Just know about Malaysia and don't know anything else. I think that's it's a no-no, and it's not really a good thing to know. All right. Okay, if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, do let me know. I'm happy to look at that. And also, that's how you're going to check out the Robie FC. Now, for this week, we pick up BJ Food. All right, you can look at BJ Food, and this is one of those. I think they do own the franchise. I believe still own the franchise of Starbucks. Starbucks may took it back, so I'm not too sure. But do those any of the audience who do know, let me know. I just pencil those in there. Let me just let me just get BJ Food first. Okay, go to stock fundamentals. right? It's breaking up, but as you can see, the stock is still pretty much on a sideways market seesaw between up and down. Pays a 2.6%, and you know this is a Vincent Tan counter lah. Remember last week when we were talking about last Friday, all the insider buying and selling. This one, if you know who are the big player in here, you can see here Berjaya Group, right? Pertubuhan Keselamatan Sosial, okay, Juria Sejati in here, pays a 2.6% dividend, not too bad, with the ROE of 27%, as when the sector average is only 15 or more 16%. So this one is definitely a significant good stock, rated 5 out of 8 in here, and do hope that it will break above this all high in here. And of course you can also use a SmartRobie trading advisor in here. All right, so this is the stock. Next week you'll look at, now for those of you who are advanced user, definitely you can use the what we call the ST. ST stand for stage 2 uptrend. Okay, stage 2 uptrend, which is part of the Wyckoff stocks. Wyckoff talks about the stage 1, stage 2, or VSA. Tom William talk about it in here. So at 9.26, these are short-term opportunity. You can see FAST was at 3% in here. K1, MCOM LB, solution. So just take a look at the first one in here. So FAST, okay, FAST here. And you can see, so let's take a look at the stock chart. Now, some of these stocks may not have any fundamental, but it's definitely hot right now. You can see this stock has moved up already. Yep, it's going to move up. This is the 940 stocks, okay? And that was about an hour ago updated. You can see this stock's ready to move higher in a nice uptrend in here. And of course, next week we'll come back and check it out to see how well they fare. K1. Okay, K1 stock chart and comment. So we'll look at this one here, and you can see just turned green Pentagon yesterday in here, but this morning is down slightly. And would we see a pullback or another tick off from here onwards? Okay, and then we go to solutions. Okay, solutions in here. All right, the middle one, and stock chart, stock comment here. So you will see, let me just push this back so you get a wider chart here. Should be up there. Also turned green Pentagon, I think last Thursday from the chart, right? You can see from here, bring it up, and you can see, who knows whether this will pick up and start to run to from in here. So keep that of this one. These are your ST2 shares in here. So we're coming to the so-called the closing of our breakfast show with SmartRobie in here. I believe personally, the post-Chinese New Year is still on. Okay, we are very close to the top, as I said before. If we get an exceptional more than 20 bars of uptrend movement in the blue trend, and that's going to be great. So which means do see this is quite different, but I do think that taking lead from the Hong Kong, China, US stocks, the KLSE will likely to follow. So this may just be prepared. But at the same time, we also need to be a change of trend. Traditionally, we have seen market may just sell off in here. We do not know one of those. So meanwhile, get ready, run your stocks. And those of you who are the advanced user, use the shorter trend, which is the ST2 intraday. For the beginner, check out the FA stocks. And those of you who are looking for a little bit of treasure hunt, look into those sectors, especially when local stocks that are generally stronger in here, which has always been part and parcel how we train our students and also our members in here, to be part of our 100-day orientation in here. Now check out our latest release feature on VSA 360 in here, available right now. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter and go over to YouTube to subscribe to our Trade VSA and be informed of all video, both educational as well as entertaining for our members in here. And don't forget, you can also sign up for our combo value, right, and our master level courses in here using the new features. And thank you again for those of you who has given alert all the time. All right, and we'll look at some stocks that we all have. I'll be happy to look at into. We have Wong Li Mui. Want me to look at the PA? Okay, let's look at PA. I'll be using the PA Resources, I assume. Okay, PA Resources has hit up 2-bar pullback, and this is likely to be, now there's some support in here. It's not going to run that quick. As I said before, this was a nice 7%. Of course, anytime they will pull back in here, and it seems to be holding up, that's pretty well. I would stay on to it, but if I'm shorter term, if I get this nice pull, I will move. But if you're slightly in the medium term, this is still going to run upwards in here. Okay, healthcare, Hexcare in here is the next stocks, right? And you can see that one will be very similar with Top Glove. Let me just show you Top Glove on the real-time chart. It will be very similar too, yep. But you can see from here, Top Glove has hit green pentagon, but this 200-day moving average, that's the one, right? In terms of big movement, I would say healthcare has more big movement from here onwards. All right. So if you have any stocks that you want to look at, that would be great. But for the others, stay on the beginner stocks, those Robie FA stocks, and you're pretty decent in here. All right. So that's all we have for this morning. Thank you again. And don't forget to subscribe to our Telegram channel in here for all things that is both educational and entertaining, especially right now on the VSA 360. We have the insider buying and selling that would put a lot of interest to see who is buying and who is selling. Thank you again, and I'll see you on Wednesday. This coming Wednesday we have another live FB. Thank you. Bye bye.